Hey guys, Michael here, coming at you on a Wednesday evening. Everybody's upstairs except for me. I'm downstairs. I wanted to come at you with today's Mindful Minute, which is be careful who you take counsel from, part two. I want to tell you a little bit of a story to sort of get to my point here. You know, when if you've gone to college or even your kids, the publishers, when they publish these textbooks, they also have to publish ancillary materials like instructor manuals, test banks, slide sets, and stuff like that for the teachers. And what they do is they don't have the author of the textbook create those materials. They contract that work out to people that work at the colleges and schools that actually teach, and have the people on the front lines, the teachers, create the ancillary materials. Well, several years ago, I secured my very first contract with a publisher, and it was to write an instructor's manual, and they were going to pay me $2,500. And I remember coming home. I had talked to a friend of mine up in Richmond who had experience with this, and she convinced me that I should form a limited liability company and run all of the revenue from the publishers through the company, because the corporate tax rate for a limited liability company was a lot less than the tax rate on an individual should I use myself or run the funds through my personal account. So I remember coming home that night and I was so excited. I had got the first contract. I had it all planned out. And I remember my wife and I were in the loft and I was telling her about it. And I was so excited, and I told her, and I'm going to create this company and I'm going to run all of the money through the company because the tax rate is lower and blah, blah, blah. I just told her the whole 9 yards. And when I was done telling her, the very first words out of her mouth were, "You can't do that." And I'm like, what do you mean I can't do that? Well, you can't do that. You are the most disorganized person I know, she said, and I don't want any part of it when you crash and burn. I said, "Hey, I know I'm disorganized, but I'm telling you because we're a team, and I'm hoping that your great organizational skills will help me, and we could do this thing together." "Oh, no, no, I don't want any part of it. Leave me out of it," she said. And I had a very quick decision to make. There was a movie that came out years and years ago. I'm going to age myself here, but the movie was called The Jazz Singer with Neil Diamond. And Neil Diamond had sent a demo tape to a friend of his in the record industry. And Neil Diamond and his wife were Jewish, of course, and they were working in the parish or whatever it's called up in New York. And he got a call from the record company. They wanted him to fly out to California to do a live set of the music that they had heard on the demo tape. And he was telling his wife, and she was like, "No, we shouldn't go. You know, we've got a good life here. You know, it's so far away from home." So what she was doing was just throwing up every roadblock you can imagine from him going to California. And he looked at her and he said, "I'm going to LA. With you or without you, I'm going to LA." And so when my wife said, "Hey, I don't want any part of it," I was at that moment where I had to make a decision like that. I was either going to do it with or without her, or I was going to tuck my tail between my legs and run home to mama. Well, as you can imagine, if you know me, I don't listen very well. And a lot of times, if you want me to do something, tell me that I can't. So I did it anyway. And so that project was successful, and I got more projects and got more projects. And the next thing you know, when my wife started seeing all this extra money, uh, her words went from "you can't" to "how come you're not doing more?" Well, that year, on my tax return, I claimed, I think I made $25,000 that year working for the publishers. And on the surface, that doesn't sound like a lot, but think about your situation right now and think about how an extra $2,000 a month would change your life. And that's what we were getting. You know, every 4 or 5 weeks, $2,500 here, $1,700 there. What is the moral to that story? The moral is very simple. A lot of times your biggest detractors will be the ones that are closest to you. This was the person who would profess to love me till death do us part, and so on and so forth, and telling me, hey, she didn't want any part of it. So your biggest detractors will be the closest ones to you, often your family members. So you be careful who you listen to. If you have a dream, you follow through on it, regardless of what the detractors say, and watch how your life changes. Hey, the dog just came in, so that's my cue that the Mindful Minute is over. Thank you for watching. Spread the word, spread the Mindful Minute, and let's get the word out there. Get the people to change the way that they think so that they can create a purpose, because purpose is the best form of activism. Love you, and I'll talk to you soon.